Well, this has been quite a week. We started with pageantry on Palm Sunday, then we celebrated the Lord's Supper. Good Friday brought about despair and confusion, but through it all, grace was still at work. And now we find ourselves on this Saturday before Easter. Luke chapter 23, verse 55 says this: "The women who had come with Jesus from Galilee followed Joseph and saw the tomb and how his body was laid in it. Then they went home and prepared spices and perfumes, but they rested on the Sabbath in obedience to the commandment." Now, not really much mentioned here in Scripture, but there is something. The women have anointed Jesus' body. I think we can also see how important it was to have rest on the Sabbath. Rest is definitely important for each of us as we have been on this journey. But the more we think about this day, there is one word that we could use to describe it, and that word is silence. Silence. Nothing has really been said here. Now, much was said on Thursday and Friday by Jesus, but now nothing. And for that matter, God is also silent. We tend to forget about Saturday and all this, don't we? Thursday and Friday, definitely Sunday, it gets all the press, all the excitement. We want to move straight from Friday to Sunday very quickly. But I don't want us to miss Saturday. I don't want us to miss the grace that is at work here. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever had a silent Saturday? Sure you have. It's one of those days when you really struggle. It's one of those days when you are stuck in darkness. It's one of those days when you are wandering around in the wilderness. But it's also one of those days when God is at work in our lives. But we get confused, don't we? The silence here on this day and on our days that we face can be very overwhelming. Why doesn't God do something here? Hey, God, are you still there? Are you still with us? Sometimes on these silent Saturdays, we have to do what Jesus did. Lie still. Stay silent. Trust that God is still at work. Now, Jesus knew that God would not stay silent. Jesus knew that God would bring him out of that grave. I hope all of us today who are dealing with one of those silent Saturdays know that God has not abandoned us either. On a day like this, we need to know the strength of God. We need to know of his amazing grace. We need to consider that if God would have displayed his power immediately and raised Jesus from the dead within moments, would we have realized all the power in this? Would we have truly appreciated it? And if God would take care of all of our problems on our silent Saturdays immediately, would we take him for granted? Would we appreciate his guidance and strength? You see, I think God put a Saturday in between Friday and Sunday on purpose. He wants us to trust in him. He wants us to rely upon his grace. He wants us to be patient and to know that he is at work even in the midst of great silence, darkness, or confusion. May God bless you on this Holy Saturday. May you feel his presence and his grace in your life, and may you be expectant of great things that will happen here very shortly.